Hi, good evening, everybody. I've had to broach a subject which I had not wanted to because somebody apparently can't read what I wrote yesterday or listen to the chat. And no, this does not have anything to do with any potential litigation. It's just that I am fed up with those individuals, and I have stated that I'm not going to be talking about them on this webcast. This webcast is of a specific topic. In this case, it is the trial of Cynthia AbCug, which is going to start in August. And what I am announcing tonight is I am going to be covering the trial live from the courtroom in Castle Rock, Colorado. Now, because of that, I'm not going to be discussing anything other than the specific topic of Cynthia AbCug tonight and in the future through the 7th of August. Now, if you'll bear with me, I'm going to bring up, try to anyway, the court. See if this is the right. No, that's not the court schedule I'm looking for. All right. I'll continue with that. Anyway, what is going to happen is now on the 27th of July, there's going to be the last status hearing for Cynthia AbCug. Once that process is complete, the trial will begin on August 1st. And I will be there to cover the case. Now, what I have not done yet is to find out what is going to be needed as far as getting in the courtroom. Is texting allowed live in the courtroom, and so on and so forth. Generally, in virtually every courthouse in the country, other than federal, cameras are not allowed in the courtroom. There is usually what they call a pool photographer or pool camera in high-profile cases, and they would handle any feed or anything like that. No problem, Astro. You may not have heard that I'm going to a topic-specific live stream. It's just those individuals are no longer allowed to be on this channel, and they are no longer allowed to be discussed about. No one names to be mentioned, anything about them, unless there is a specific legal issue that is public dealing with them. Now, back to the topic at hand. Again, I'm going to be checking to see what the rules of the road is as far as the court. Is there audio, video equipment that I have access within the court like we have here in Orange County, Florida, or not? Apparently, they don't have that. Douglas County Courthouse is a small courthouse, well, smaller. It's not really small, but it's a smaller courthouse south of Denver. It's unlike Orange County Courthouse. It's not a big multi-floor hotel. It's a single-story county jail, and so that would okay. I'm just getting my multitasking hat is not on. I'm not sure what Asko's asking. If you want to delete your account, you can delete it yourself. I believe. I'm not sure what this delete order is. It's still off subject. Um, anyway, greetings to everybody in here. I'm hoping as time goes on, I'm able to improve the continuity of my narration. Now, reviewing a few things. This dilemma with Cynthia AbCug actually started in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And over here on the screen is the case history of Cynthia AbCug in court down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where everything originated. Now, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to read this or not, but it's basically they got into domestic violence, repeat violence, domestic violence, last solution, marriage, repeat violence, paternity, removal of tenant, and removal of tenant. This had to do with an eviction from their apartment. Now, excuse me. I got to get that out of there. I miscued. But Cynthia AbCug was having problems with her marriage and allegedly with her son. And eventually, she got permission from the court to take the child out of the state of Florida. And let's see if this is the November 2013, 2009, simultaneous proceeding with Douglas County District Court, State of Colorado, to determine exclusive continuing jurisdiction concerning the child. Pursuant to the provisions of the Uniform Child Custody Jurisdiction and Enforcement Acts as enacted in the states of Florida and Colorado. And basically what happened is that Cynthia was allowed to take her son to Colorado. And it's alleged that once she got to Colorado and started getting her child treated, that the charge of Munchausen's by proxy were levied against her. She then failed to appear in court, went on the lam, so to speak, and went up to, eventually she wound up clear across the country in Nevada. Now, I'm trying to find a few things here. Yeah, she had a very troubled past, fireman. That's, as with most cases in the CPS system, that's a matter of the mother had problems, and for whatever reason, the custody was taken away from the mother, and then she fought against it. She was reaching a dead end in her mind, and along came QAnon and the alleged kidnapping plot came from there. Now, over the next month preceding the trial, generally on Saturdays, sometimes on Sundays, I am going to go over point by point how the history of this came about. How Cynthia went from a troubled situation in the state of Florida, migrated up to the state of Colorado. Her troubles continued up there. She was then persuaded, allegedly, by a group of QAnons to leave the state of Colorado and proceed across the country with stops in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Virginia, Georgia, Florida, Arkansas, Montana, and eventually she was apprehended in Montana. Uh, let's see what else I can touch upon here. Some of the samples that I have here. Let's see what we got. Okay. Now, there was a fund set up. And this is going to be hard to read, but this is a GoFundMe account that was set up for her. I believe she had about $10,000 raised in this fund. It was organized by a friend of hers, apparently. And it's going to be nearly impossible for me to read this. I'm going to see if I can find this again. I don't know if because I'm going down through my oh, wait a minute. That might be the one I'm looking for. Let me go back. Okay, this was see if I can. Okay, I brought up the Colorado case, and so I'm going to have to download this. This will be for future reference. I bet you if that goes to my printer. But we'll see. I didn't catch that in time. Okay, let me go back over to the comments. Okay, Cynthia, yeah, you apparently missed it, Laurie. Cynthia AbCug is going on trial August 1st, and I am going to be there to cover the case live. As far as what's going to happen with witnesses, I don't know. I won't know that until I start getting information out of the court. I've got a great deal of information on the way. I should start getting stuff possibly tomorrow or during the week. And starting next week, I'm going to go into what I hope is a more organized presentation of the case, starting from the beginning and up until the date of the trial starting. So let me dispense of this thing. Amber, get down. Get down. Hey, girl. Amber's trying to make her entrance like she always does. And I'm trying to. Oh, thank you. I hope you all tune in. I'm going to be testing my equipment out and everything, and I will be leaving Orlando late Sunday, August 1st, and the trial starts Monday, August 2nd. And it's kind of weird, these dates, because you would think the first was Monday, and no, it's Sunday. I guess. Anyway, it's going to be Monday. I'll update the information as we go forward. Let's see. I'm going to go back in here and remove that. Okay. And in the background is Castle Rock. That's where they named the town for. And my camera just went kaflooey. Oh well. Let me turn the camera off. I don't know why that's the first time that's happened. My camera went completely out of focus. But yeah, we're going to be going on a little bit of a trip. The trial is supposed to last a week. Starts on Monday and goes all the way through until Friday. And as far as when it's handed to the jury and the deliberation starts, I have no idea. Unfortunately, my schedule will not allow me to go any longer than that. I've got to get things in order and then be back here. But this has been my intent all along, is to cover these trials. And this is the first of 3 of them. Because we have this trial, we have Neely Blanchard, and we have Bill McConnell. So we have the 3 trials coming up. And what's interesting about all this is these are all interconnected. And we'll see what comes out. Now, I'm getting a thing here. Only a week. Well, I think that's because it's pretty cut and dried. Now, generally what happens, this is going to be, I'll be going over the summary again once I get the paperwork, but usually what happens is the first day of trial, there will be opening arguments. The prosecution and the defense will give their opening arguments. This generally gives the jury a general idea of what's going to be presented at trial. Opening arguments are not considered evidence. It's basically just statements by the defense and the prosecution, as to the course that the case is going to take throughout the week. Once that is done, generally the prosecution presents their case first. They will bring in witnesses. Witnesses will be questioned by the prosecution. The defense has the opportunity then to ask questions of the witness, and then generally the defense or the prosecution has a right to come back and do rebuttal questions within the scope of what the defense asked. And then once the prosecution is done presenting their case, the defense takes over and they start questioning their own witnesses. And then the prosecution, I'm going to have to work on that. The prosecution has the right to question the defense witnesses, and then the defense can come back and have a rebuttal question within the scope of what the prosecution asked. And then once all that is done, there are closing arguments. And the defense and the prosecution each give closing arguments as to how they feel the jury should rule. At the end of that, we will get what's known as Brady instructions from the judge. This is usually gone over by the defense and prosecution. This may be the purpose of the July status. I don't know. But at some point, the Brady instructions are agreed to between the defense and prosecution and the judge. After the closing arguments, the judge will instruct the jury according to the Brady stipulations agreed to, and then the jury is sent to deliberate. Now, what is not known is if the jury will stay after court and deliberate on Friday, or if they will be sent home and will initiate deliberation on the following Monday. And what I will be doing is I will be checking with the court to find out how jury deliberation is going to work. Well, Martha, well, this time I'm not the late one, but the show is being recorded, but you'll have an idea of what's going on. Basically, I am going to be covering the trial live on August 1st. I will be arriving in Denver and going from there. See, what I'm going to do is but that's basically the big announcement, that I will be covering the trial live. I hope you all tune in. It's going to be an interesting week. Well, let me, I've got, go down through, I pulled up an article. Okay. AbCug's daughter also told authorities that at least 2 men had come to their house to provide security for them, including one who her mother told her was a sniper with a military background. While the FBI has said QAnon theories could provide an inspiration for domestic terrorists, defense attorney Emmeline Boheme said the theories have also found support among elected officials, noting that President Donald has retweeted QAnon promoting accounts. Now, in their questioning of the caseworker and the police detective, they stressed the daughter could not provide many details about the plot, noting she had learned of the crime from her mother, who had become very upset when her son was put into foster care in January of 2019 after she was suspected of lying about his health problems. Now, this is because of the Munchausen by proxy suspicion that authorities had. They also pointed out that at first the daughter said she did not know when the raid would be carried out, but later said she thought it would be done by the end of October 2019. AbCug was arrested in Montana on December 30th, 2019, after leaving Parker, the Denver suburb where she had lived with her daughter. She was charged with conspiracy to commit second degree kidnapping after being returned to Colorado. Now, she had gone to Montana to be interviewed by Northwest Liberty News, and shortly after leaving the studio is when she was arrested at a place that was probably about 50 to 75 miles south of the Canadian border. That is correct. Cynthia had appeared on Field McConnell's live stream. Well, I think what happened, Martha, this case has really not been discussed much since her arrest, and now that the trial is coming up, discussions are probably going to start back up. That's correct. The man that was supposed to be the sharpshooter is alleged to be the boyfriend of Sarah Dunklin. And it is alleged that Cynthia AbCug went and visited with Sarah Dunklin while on her way through Arkansas. Cynthia AbCug is also alleged to have seen Chris Hallett in Ocala. And there were allegations that a diplomatic passport had been issued to Cynthia by a woman in the state of Virginia. And she also visited someone down in the state of Georgia. So this is a big loop that was made around the eastern United States and back up to Montana, where she was eventually arrested. Now, again, as we go forward with discussion of the AbCug case, I will have more detailed information on her. John, I do not know if they would call the Northwest Liberty host or not. Now, on one of the newscasts that was done after she was arrested, they used a clip from Northwest Liberty News and described the station as being an ultra right-wing conservative station and so on. Northwest Liberty News is still on the air. I checked just a couple hours ago, and they're still going at it. Martha, that is said to be where the funds came from, some of them anyway, and so that's going to have to be looked into. Again, we got to see what they bring out in the trial, what evidence they bring out, how much detail they're going to go into, how she ascertained the resources necessary for this long trip, and the fact that someone else was driving her around, namely the medical student from the state of Colorado. So all this is going to have to be worked out. And one of the things I need to do is get the discovery from the state of Colorado to find out exactly what is in the discovery and see if there's going to be enough detail to cover prior to the trial. What is done with discovery varies with state to state. So it's going to be interesting to see what I'm able to ascertain from the courthouse prior to the trial. Otherwise, may have to wait until I get to Colorado and see if there's time for me to get the discovery information. This trial is starting early Monday morning, and it's going to be going on all day. Now, generally, they adjourn for short breaks or they adjourn for lunch. And probably during a lunch break, I will go down to the clerks and see what information I can derive from them as far as documents that are going to be used in the trial. And at that time, I will be doing nightly live streams after court to go over the whatever happened during the day. I'll cover, I'll take notes and so on and so forth. I'll be doing short update live streams during the break, if I'm able to. Generally, it's an hour, half hour between sessions, and I should be able to, do a stand up outside the courthouse. Depending on what I got to find out exactly what I'm allowed to take into the court, if they allow backpacks or anything of the like, because it may limit me as to what I'm able to carry on my person. I will not be renting a car, so I'm going to be somewhat limited on what I'm going to be able to take. The rental car rates have gone through the ceiling, and I just simply don't have the funds to rent a car all week. So I'm going to be taking Uber between the hotel and the court. I managed to find a hotel fairly close to the courthouse, so I should be in halfway decent shape. The QAnon gaslit have come in early to put on the thumbs down. Well, no surprise there. They're determined to sabotage this channel, but I'm not going to talk about them anymore. They're not worth my time. They can go over there and do whatever it is they do. I'm done with them. But getting back to basically, I'll probably do a brief stand up, as they call it, outside the courthouse, a live shot in the morning before the trial, which will be live and it'll be brief. Then again, I'll do the live shot during the break. And then at night, after I get back to the motel and get settled, I'll go over the day's events. And I'll do this each and every day in the course of the trial. And if the jury deliberates in time, I'll make a judgment call as to what to do if the jury comes back with a verdict. If the judge allows them to give a verdict on Saturday, I will have time to go into court and see what the verdict is if it happens to be held over on Saturday. If it's any later than that, it's more than likely I am going to have to call the court and get the verdict at that time, because I'm scheduled to leave Denver, Colorado Saturday evening and be back in Orlando early Sunday morning. So okay, we got to remember to be, try and maintain the topic line. I don't want to be drifting off talking about people that we no longer are going to discuss. I want to completely ignore them because they simply are not worth our time. And so, let's concentrate on Cynthia AbCug. Hello, Jolly. I don't know if. Well, that's okay. It's, I figure it's going to take time for everybody to, get used to the new format and the fact that there are those that are not going to be named. Um, so let me see. Oh, what's going on down here? I don't know what that's all about. I'm trying to find. Okay, I'm not finding. Yes, she did. Well, I don't know if it'd be a criminal history, Laurie, as much as that she's got a history with the court in Fort Lauderdale. She spent a lot of time in court, petitions against domestic violence. There's two. This is just one of 2 pages, by the way. I didn't. The second page continued on with her. What the specifics was of the other cases, other than it was a eviction notice from an apartment complex. Okay. Yeah, Martha, let me go over this. Okay. What are the steps? Well, I will be flying out of Orlando. Let me see if I can pull up my flight. Because I don't know. But anyway, I will be leaving Orlando late Sunday. And I will be arriving in Denver at 11:55 Sunday. And then I will probably have to take an Uber or something like that to get to the hotel. And when I'm going back and forth from the hotel to the courthouse, I'm either going to take a local bus or no, this is August 1st. I don't think there's a bank holiday in August. But I will be doing a live shot outside the courthouse, which they permit. I've done live shots outside of several different courthouses throughout the country. But anyway, after I do my initial live shot, I will go sit in on the trial itself. Now, cameras and live streaming are not allowed in court as a general rule. Now, this varies from jurisdiction to jurisdictions. I'm going to get the specific rules later this week to find out exactly what I'm allowed to do and what I cannot do. I've got to find out if I'm allowed to take a backpack in there because since I'm not going to have a car, I got to figure out what to do with if I use my tripod. and microphones and mixer and any of that stuff, because if I can't take that stuff in the courtroom, I'm not going to be able to take it with me, and I'm going to have to figure out how to do the live shot. I may have to find a something to hang the phone on so that I can do that. But and then at the end of everything, I Uber back to Denver Airport. I leave out of Denver Airport on Saturday, and we'll be back in Orlando late Sunday. And that's basically it. I'm spending basically close to a week in Castle Rock. Well, the Monday, July 4th is a federal holiday day, because the banks are going to be closed, courts are going to be closed, the post office is going to be closed. So, but this is August 1st that all this is going on. Let's see. I'm going to try and find that damn schedule. Is that way? Okay, Orlando to Denver. Departure 9:55 p.m. Arrival 11:55 p.m. 4 hours. And then next week it's go from there. And let me get new comments. Why am I not seeing new comments? Okay, here we go. Okay, let's try and keep it on topic, everybody. This tonight's show is not as organized as I'd wanted it, mainly because this was going to be for the primary purpose of making the announcement. So I may close out a little early tonight. Jeez. Cool. Well, that's okay, Laurie. It's going to take a while for the new format to stick in, and I got to do a better job of preventing dead air. Firemen, you're right. Not too many do, but it's getting to be a bit of a trend. There are actually at least one more case where somebody removed their child from custody of the father using a fake document that said that she had the authority to take the child and that her husband was going to be arrested by the United States Marshals. And that, I believe, was a Utah case, and I haven't really followed up on that. But the as far as if any of the case history of Cynthia AbCug being a defendant in Florida, I'm not sure there is any. I think primarily the cases down in Florida are domestic. Uh, but I'm going to check in. I've got to check with the Florida courts as well to see if there's anything that I missed. But so far, what I've got up out here on the screen is all I've been able to find. So that is probably where we're going to be at. Is all the criminal stuff is going to be coming out of Colorado. I've got to check and see what information I can get out of the state of Colorado as far as detailed information on her record up there, on all the court filings that are public, and all the discovery witness lists, that sort of thing. That's what's going to be coming up here in the next few weeks. Because this is the 3rd of July, so, time is going to be flying here. And so we'll probably do, there'll be 4 or 5 live streams discussing this case before I leave. And I will do a live stream Saturday before I depart. I might do a mobile live stream going to the airport and possibly a mobile live stream when I get to Denver. But once I arrive in Denver, I won't be live streaming until the next morning because I'm going to be in a bit of a time crunch. I've got to arrange for transportation from the airport to the hotel and then from the hotel to the court. So Monday's going to be a little tight. Special. Now, Nellie Blanchard, her case, the earliest that thing's going to be is October. And let me check and see if there's any updates. But the last I had checked, we're looking at October before anything even starts of that. So let me take a look real quick. Okay. Hit this page. I hate it when I hit this page because it's the wrong one. Oops. Why did I get that? It's kind of screwed up here a little bit. Okay. Because what I'm doing is I'm going down through here to. It takes a little bit of jumping around to get to the right link. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we come up with on Neely. Why does it do that? And view selection. Okay. Okay, Neely Blanchard, the jury selection is scheduled for November 1st, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. So that means that the trial is likely going to be in November. And we have no more discovery as of the 21st of June. So okay, the specific topic we're talking about, Tara, is the trial of Cynthia AbCug. Wow. I'm trying to keep the discussion around the trial of Cynthia AbCug, and I am just checking on other trials that we will be discussing. But I didn't see what, but basically the individuals, all right, I'm just going to drop that whole thing there. I saw one, I didn't see the second one, but yes, we are not discussing the PPTF or anyone associated with them. Do I think that Kirk Pendergrass will attend the trial? That's hard to say. Now, this is on topic simply because the E-Clause was involved in this case. So, in this narrow scope, it's on topic. But whether or not Kirk Pendergrass attends is basically up to him. He may wind up being there as a witness because he's part of E-Clause. He's a surviving member of E-Clause. But well, Tara, the problem is, and that you're fine to leave, this is about Cynthia AbCug. This is not about conspiracy theorists. So I'm sorry to see you leave, but this is not a democracy, and that's just the way it is. If you had tuned in last night, you would have saved yourself the trouble of coming in here. So, but what's going to happen is we're going to have to keep getting the point home. So if people don't like this channel because of my restrictions, then they don't come here. The situation on this channel has gotten out of hand over the past few months, and I have to put my foot down. So, yeah, just go ahead and wrench her banner from the room, because I haven't got time for this nonsense. I figure there's going to be attempts for people to bypass the system, and that's why I've got so many wrenches on here, because I want to drive the message home that we're not going to have any more of this child's play. Well, doesn't matter. As the channel grows, there might be people coming in, but the situation is that I just can't have trolls anymore. I'm trying to maintain a certain level of decorum here. I'm trying to keep it to where we're on subject, and that people are going to discuss this subject and not go wandering off into outer space. The only reason that I mentioned the Nellie Blanchard case and the forthcoming Field McConnell case is that these are trials that I will be covering. There may be other trials that I'll cover, but mainly at this point, I will be covering these 3 trials. And I will be covering the 3 trials on location, live, and they'll be broadcast in whatever capacity I'm able to do. Hello, Levi. Welcome to the stream. Let's see, what was I doing here? Oh, okay. I'm going to go over to Broward County. And let me see, McConnell. Oh, I saw your message there that you're starting a new thing, Levi. I hope that goes well for both you and Alex. Cars. There's a car. There's a car. There's a car. There's a car. Let's see if this is enough. Oh, I hate this thing. Oh, geez. I hate this CAPTCHA thing that they've got on here. It is a royal pain in the neck. Well, it's all right because Tara did not want, she was mad at the restrictions anyway, so. Gee whiz. Come on. This damn. Oh, there's a car there. Okay, let's see what's going on with Field McConnell. Okay. All right, we got a court date notice for July 1st. Okay, on the 8th of July, we have a notice of appearance. Now, it's not getting into exactly what's going on here. Weanne, this is off subject. I'm going to have to delete that message. We are not talking about Timothy Homeseth at all anymore. I don't want her blocked. I just want that message taken off the board. Now, Field McConnell, we have something coming up on the 8th of July at 9 in the morning. I got to find out what the heck. This is something new. Look it down here. Well, 7:01. See, they posted it on the 1st, but it's FOHST July 8th, 2021, room 5780, 9 a.m. And it's not saying what this is. So there's some kind of hearing on the 1st of, or on the 8th of July, which is sometime next week. And I'm going to have to find out what the heck this is about. This is the first I've seen this one. Let me get on here, see what they say about this. This is no, that's a repeat of one they put out in May. Five, six. All right, this is the wrong one. This isn't going to work. He's already been arraigned. Because what it is there is a okay, 2 pages. I didn't see the second page because it's probably going to be one of these. You are hereby notified, State of Florida versus Field McConnell. You are hereby notified the following cases have been set for hearing. And this is supposed to be, it's going to be an online hearing. It's going to be July 8th, 2021 at 9 in the morning. Parties notified, the defendant has been notified, attorney has been notified, the bond company has been notified, and the prosecution has been notified. So this is going to be a remote hearing by Zoom. So we got that coming up. Now, folks, I made an announcement yesterday on my show, and I made it abundantly clear that certain topics were off limits. And I'm sorry if you think that the style is not going to play to a large audience, but I am not giving those people any more attention. This is a topic-specific chat. This is about, right now, the Cynthia AbCug trial. And the only reason that Field McConnell and Petrie Blanchard have come up is because those trials are going to be covered by me in the future. And the same rules are going to apply. That the stream is going to be topic specific. This is not a general topic live stream. And all I've been doing in the past live streaming is talking about the same two people every single time. And I was served with paperwork that says they don't want my attention anymore. And I said, fine, you're not going to get my attention anymore. I'm not going to talk about you. I'm not going to allow discussions about you on this channel. You're not allowed in here, and you will not allowed to comment on my chat or on my, on the channel itself. They are basically put in exile. And all I'm asking for people is to understand what the direction of this stream is. Everyone out there's streams all over YouTube that operate this way. That they say, look, we're on topic. We're not here to just go wandering around. And so I'm not doing anything different than many other YouTube channels out there. So I appreciate your understanding. And I'm hoping that after tonight, as people get the message, we won't be getting sidetracked. Because I'm going to be getting into a lot of specific detail, and I'm going to be doing it in a certain order. And I don't want to be having to play referee with people in chat. And this is why I got probably about half of my people are wrenches or moderators, so that I can have some control over what goes on in here. Tonight, it's a little bit looser format because all I did is make the announcement that I'm going to be covering the trial of Cynthia AbCug live. And, but next Saturday, things are going to be tightening up considerably so that we don't have any more of these distractions. Interesting. Okay. So, it somewhat limited tonight because all the information that I'm going to need for the case is going to be next week. I do have one document that this had to do with Cynthia's extradition from Montana to Colorado, which happened in March of 2020. So, anyway. So that's where we're at tonight. Just to bring up random documents. Oops, don't want that. Let's see. Okay, this is the one that I was looking for earlier. This is about the daughter and her statement that she made. Oh, that's okay, Leanne. The Field McConnell does have a connection to the case, but I'm not going to concentrate too much on that right now. But what I've got up now is the daughter. In late September, the daughter stepped in. On September 26th, she anxiously revealed her mother's alleged raid plans to a caseworker and other authorities. According to the warrant, she said her mom had gotten into some conspiracy theories and was spiraling down it. She mentioned the armed man staying at their house and said her mother had recently acquired a gun, quote, just in case something happens, close quote, and starting to go to the gun range to practice shooting. She was worried about the raid, didn't buy into the conspiracy theories, and could not understand why her mother did not see how this was a bad thing. She told police she believed people would be injured during the raid as those people are, quote, evil Satan worshippers and, quote, pedophiles, the warrant said. After speaking with the daughter, authorities took her into protective custody. They noted conspiracy theory, paraphernalia in the house. She shared with AbCug, quote, rubber bracelets bearing the word QAnon and the name of a QAnon Twitter account. So, that's the daughter. The daughter is the key to this whole thing because when Cynthia went on the lam, it is what caused her arrest in Montana. And so she is being charged with attempted kidnapping. And the fact that he had Okay, I got lost track of what I was saying. Sorry about that. But the daughter basically caused the mother's arrest because she was concerned about what she was planning on doing. The mother got charged with the kidnapping, and now we're going to have a trial. And for anybody that is a late comer, as I've noticed in the uh, chat, I am covering the trial of Cynthia and AbCug live on location in Castle Rock, uh, Colorado. Has Sarah Dunklin been put on the witness list? I do not know. Uh, that's a valid question because it is alleged that Cynthia AbCug visited Dunklin while she was in Arkansas. AbCug stayed at some old rundown motel down by a river, and Dunklin's name has been inserted into this by various individuals as being a part of this sightseeing tour that Cynthia AbCug was at. And that means that there is a possibility that she will be called as a witness. And we really won't know this until, one, I can get the records from the courthouse, and two, what does the prosecution intend to introduce in the trial, and so on. No, Lipstick, I am not in Colorado right now. The trial is not until August 1st. Or August 2nd, excuse me. I will be leaving for Denver August 1st. Little under a month from now. And the trial is scheduled to run Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I will be there for that week. And then I will be returning to Orlando on Saturday. Yeah, that's what I understand, Martha. And it's not known whether or not either he or she will be called into the witness stand in Colorado. This again is what's going to have to come out in discovery, and when I get the witness list from the court. Right now, I have absolutely nothing from the court up there. I hadn't had time to dig into it yet. I have material that is being sent to me. And as soon as I get that material, I'm going to start studying it and organizing how I'm going to do the weekly Saturday night Murtathons when we discuss this case. During, there won't be much in the way of mobile-thons or additional days of Murtathons unless something comes up to, any developing stories about this or anything else that I deem appropriate to be putting on a Murtathon. But generally, the Saturday Murtathons is going to be about the AbCug case. Martha, this is one of these details that's going to come out in court as to where the heck she got that gun from. There's been statements that it was given to her. There's statements that she purchased the gun. And so that is going to have to come out in court and see where the facts lie there. And if anything is going to be done criminally in regards to whoever provided her with that weapon. One thing I have to do is I have to check and see what the laws in the state of Colorado were at the time in regards to uh, possession of a firearm, licensing, so on and so forth. As far as I know, she does not have a criminal record, and so that part of it would not prohibit her from having a gun. The problem is we now have the use of a weapon in the commission of a felony, and sometimes people that are associated with them will be brought in. So this is why, we have to see what the witness list is going to entail, who's going to be on it, and so forth. And yes, everybody has the right to plead the Fifth Amendment. If there's anything in their testimony as far as this case is concerned, they can be given the Fifth Amendment right. But by being on the witness list and pleading the Fifth, they are setting themselves up for a lot of speculation. So this is the witness list is going to be the most interesting part of this trial, to see who is and who is not on it, and if anybody pleads the Fifth. Because again, there's a number of things to look at. The first thing to look at is the fact that QAnon is alleged to be involved in this case. And the places that Cynthia went to, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and so on and so forth, all have connections to one specific group of people, especially the trip to Ocala, Florida, and over to the state of Arkansas. So it would make sense that these individuals got called as witnesses. But is that going to happen? We don't know. That's going to be up to the court. And it's going to be up to whatever is in the court records. And that's what I have to try and get access to and see, how much information is being released by the court. And, there we are. I don't know about a cover-up. I don't know why you would think that there's a cover-up. That would be rather strange. Be nice if you could elaborate on that, but yeah, they did arrest AbCug. They arrested her on the outstanding warrant out of Denver, and then they tacked on the additional charge. The original warrant for her arrest was because she failed to appear in court. And that was modified once the daughter told authorities through her caseworker what her mother was allegedly planning. So, well, you're correct there, sincerely, but that does not stop them from being arrested on a later date. Right now, what the prosecution wants to do is get Cynthia tried. And there's any number of things that can happen between now and the trial date. They could offer her a plea deal for her testimony and so forth. And the reason why people like Ryan Wilson has not been arrested is because he may not have been aware of her intentions. Now, this does not mean that he cannot be arrested later. And I would firmly believe that he is going to be one of the witnesses called in the trial. it's kind of hard to second guess what the court is planning on doing as far as the prosecution is concerned. What their plans are between now and the hearing date. There could very well be reasons why they have not arrested these other individuals yet. Now, this could go to trial, and based on the testimony of everybody and what comes out in court, somebody could get arrested. This has happened before in these kinds of cases where one individual goes under trial, and as the trial progresses, all of a sudden you start having arrests made because the evidence is now provided in court through sworn testimony and discovery. And they say, okay, it's time to go arrest their ass. And people will start getting rounded up. So this is what needs to be done. This has got to go through the process. Now, the investigation into the AbCug matter is not closed. It's an open investigation. There is information that the FBI has that they have made clear they do not want to make public. There's a lot of stuff that's in the hands of the FBI. And, we've all seen by things that have happened lately that the FBI doesn't tell everybody what they're up to. And that eventually, all of a sudden, people wind up getting their ass arrested. And that'll probably happen here. I agree. And I think this might come out in trial, that she may decide to flip. We also don't know what testimony she gave the prosecution and her defense in the course here, because that sort of thing isn't put into discovery right away. I believe Colorado works under a different set of rules than Florida, so they might be a little bit more closed mouth about what's going to happen post-trial. Are we going to have people arrested and charged with additional charges? It's a possibility. Sincerely, the reason why she is still working in politics is because she hasn't been convicted of a crime yet. And eventually, if evidence points in her direction, she may become a liability to the point where the Republicans are going to disown her, or she may even find out, or she may even be criminally charged. This trial of Cynthia AbCug is not the end of the process. It's the beginning of it, because as they go along and this case progresses between now, first day of trial, to the ending of the trial, a lot can happen. And I think, this month is going to go faster than we think. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on as far as behind the scenes work, getting paperwork ready in the court and so on and so forth. There's probably going to be one or two pre-trial conferences, and there's probably going to be a back and forth between the prosecution and the defense to see if there's some kind of strategy they can come up with to resolve the case. The Vallow case is actually a good example of what happened. Once you get somebody in jail and you get them going through the process, then all of a sudden the charges get piled on to one individual, and then somebody else gets arrested, and then so on and so on and so on. So this could also be a situation, and John brings up, the feds could levy their own charges. Right now the state is handling their part. because this is attempted kidnapping with the use of a firearm. The FBI could come in and say, okay, you went across state lines and transporting a firearm across state lines, and now we're getting into that area. Because look at where she is alleged to have gone. She's alleged to have left the state of Colorado. She's been to the state of Minnesota. She's been to the state of Wisconsin. Then she goes down to the state of Virginia, from there to Georgia, and into Florida. Now, Florida at the time did not have any kind of open carry. So being in the state of Florida with a firearm, she's in violation of Florida law because it's an unlicensed firearm. It's an unlicensed concealed weapon. You know, she's running interstate with a concealed weapon. This is not a rifle. This is a hand weapon, a revolver, or whatever it was. So she gets into a situation where she's carrying a concealed weapon all over the place. I'll see what happens with that. I'm not going to be overly aggressive with it. Usually what happens in these cases is the lawyers will have press conferences. I don't know if you tuned into my federal one when I covered the federal case down here in Florida, but the attorney will come out. The prosecution may say something, the defense may say something, and if Cynthia is set free, she may say something. But as far as getting in exclusive interviews with her specifically, that's very slim. Strangely enough, we follow each other on Twitter. Now, the account's been kind of sitting there, so I don't know if she would contact me through Twitter or not. The problem... Well, I would like very much to do that sincerely. I would like to talk to her and ask her questions, but the problem here is the lawyer is going to control any access to her, and he's not about to say, okay, this blogger from Florida is going to get any exclusive. I'm not the New York Times or CNN or Fox or any of the others. I'm just this lone blogger from Florida, so I have to be realistic about my prospects. If the opportunity comes up, I'll take advantage of it, like I did with Derry Lassiter. But other than that, we just have to go along with that. And as far as being aggressive, it's not my nature. I'm not Clark Kent or any of these overly aggressive people. I will judge by the circumstances at the time, and it's not gonna be too much of a benefit to be overly aggressive in this situation, because there's a possibility that as we get closer to the court date, that you're going to see a lot of local people, press, get involved. Now, I am working with someone from the Associated Press. I'm supposed to talk to that individual later this month about what help they can give me while I'm up there. A friend of a friend connected me to the reporter for the Associated Press, or attached to the Associated Press, I should say. And that individual has agreed to talk to me and let me okay, let me put this up. I do not know if Alex or Levi would show up. I would imagine that the three of us met up there, we could come up with something. But as far as what Levi or Alex might plan on doing, I don't know. Right now, they're doing their own thing. So I could possibly go into their show as a guest and live stream through their channel without them having to come up there. But, that's something to think about. And, you know, I may talk to Levi in the future and see what his mindset is. He's more than welcome to simulcast my stream onto his channel. I have no problem with that. Um, he can bring it in as a sharing a web page or what have you, or else we do it through a share link itself on YouTube. But that's something we could, possibly work on, depending on what his mindset is and what he's doing at the time. Because this is an idea that I had not thought of bringing up with either one of the two of them. Although I would welcome either one of them as a guest or, again, to do a simulcast. So we'll see how it works. Because what's important here is the case itself. It's not about individual channels. We can all work as a team and present the best to our viewers on our mutual channels. So we'll see how that goes. Good idea, though. I appreciate the suggestion. I have been over on Levi's show. He has come in here and talked on my show on occasion. So that's always a possibility. Well, it would be, John, because we each have our unique audiences, but we also have we have the same people on both audiences, and Levi has a totally different style how he does things because he's educated in journalism, he's experienced, he's been on national media before. So he would be a great asset to the cover of the case, whether he does it independently or we do a simulcast. I'm sure people would want him to discuss the case in some fashion. He has good connections, good resources, so he would be able to contribute a lot to the coverage of this case. Okay, let me. What I'm probably going to do is at the top of the hour, which is 20 minutes from now, I'm going to close down because it's beyond the announcement. There's not too much to discuss until I get the material that I need to present a more complete live stream. I should have I should have something by tomorrow. Some of the material should be coming my way tomorrow, and so at that time, I would be able to go through the material during the week and start to create a timeline from beginning to end as to how things went. Okay. All right. Trying to think. Does anybody have any more questions or comments by any chance? Because I'll tell you what. what I'm probably going to do, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and close out the webcast because there really isn't too much for me to do at this point until I start going over the material that I'm going to be using for next week, because I think the Saturday Murtathon is when I'm really going to start getting into the details of how this all got started with Cynthia and go forward from there. And we'll just do a timeline Saturday. And as I start to get information from the court, then each Saturday up until I leave for Colorado, we'll go over the material and get into a discussion. Well, sincerely, that's a possibility. But again, I do not want his name mentioned anymore on the live stream. Again, unless there's something public legally in the news that is merit. I really don't want to give these people any more attention on here. So I'm going to go over it just so everybody is clear. The names Timothy Charles Holmseth, Randy Lynn Erickson, and anyone directly associated with the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force, the High Command, and the task force are not to be mentioned or discussed in this stream from yesterday forward. I'm done with these people. I don't want to give them any more attention. They're, as far as I'm concerned, in exile, and I'm just done with them. And so I would appreciate it if people would not mention them or their names in here unless it's specific to any legal situation, arrests, trials, stuff like that. Now, there's a possibility the names will come up in the AbCug trial, but until they do, I want their names in exile. They can do their own thing on their social media. I may retweet stuff on Twitter and what have you, but in this room, on this chat, they are in exile. If they comment on my comment section, their post will be deleted. So I appreciate everybody stopping in. Please like, subscribe, give me the thumbs up, hit the share button, hit the notification button, and stay tuned, because it's everything Cynthia AbCug from here on until the end of the trial. So until we meet again next Saturday, this is William K. Murtaugh, MURT Witness 1. Have a good one.